is Ashton Shepherd on Cooking Country, and today we are going to be cooking a one meal deal. It's going to be very, very simple. I got a couple tricks to tell you about what I am fixing. It is broccoli chicken casserole. And once more, I'm coming to you from Miss Rachel's kitchen. That's Roland's mom. And she also taught me this recipe. We learned it at the holidays. When you add the chicken into the broccoli casserole, which was what I originally learned to cook, mix it into a one meal thing, and then you're done. And the good thing about it, you got the casserole this year, you put all of this in here, mix it, and I'm going to show you what I'm fixing to do, and we will have it all ready to go at 350 degrees. We've got here a cup of, well, I probably did maybe a cup and a half of the broccoli, since it's called a broccoli chicken casserole. Roughly about a cup of everything though. On the broccoli flowerettes, and make sure, or I do, to buy the flowerette part of the broccoli, because you can buy broccoli pieces and cuts and stuff, and you get a lot of this and not enough broccoli heads. Now here I have the chicken. Typically, most people that I know of like to boil their chicken to go in their broccoli casserole, but I am not doing that anymore since I discovered to take some leftover chicken that you baked, and this is how I discovered this. I actually took and used some leftover baked chicken in like a chicken and rice casserole that I was making. And here I'm cutting up just a little bit more chicken. And I'm not going to worry about cutting up the broccoli. It's good to go as it is. It's a little big. You can cut it up smaller if you want to. But going back to the chicken, I took the baked chicken and I cut it up out of the fridge, and I put it in this chicken, and I thought, chicken and rice with baked chicken, or broccoli casserole with baked chicken, and it just gives it a totally different flavor, and it's just better tasting chicken to me than boiled chicken. And right here I've got the Velveeta style cheese. It's not the texture of block cheese. You don't want block cheese. You make sure to get this kind, because it's got the spongy texture that's going to melt better for you. Again, it's about an average of a cup of each of these things. You can double the recipe if you've got a large family, or if you got a gathering or whatever. But if you're just fixing it for the holidays as a dish to go with something else or a special occasion, you can just use the regular little recipe I'm using here. I'm going to add that to my cup over here, a little extra cheesy. And then here we've got 1 cup of instant rice. You can use the instant brown rice, but I did that one time and discovered you're going to need to cook it a little longer. It just doesn't quite do the same as the white. Realize the white's not maybe the healthiest option. You can do the browns a little healthier, but I like the white rice, instant rice. Make sure it's instant. Also going to add some cream of chicken soup, and then we're going to have our seasoning. So we're going to get to stirring up here. I've got my milk over here. We're also going to use that. So we're right at a cup of our broccoli. Got our chicken. Okay. Actually, I am wondering, I might add a little more chicken. And that's how I do, y'all, in the kitchen. I am very loose about if I want to put a little something more, a little something less. I'm not that big on the whole measuring deal. Some things you have to, but if you want a little more, if you want more cheese, put more cheese. Want more chicken? More chicken. And even with the rice, I may add a little smidgen more of it too, just because I like rice. But I think we're going to be good on that. That looks like a good amount. And I think we're going to grab a little bit more chicken over here, just because it is so good. Like I say, the baked gives it a totally different deal. There we go. Here we are. Now, very important on a broccoli casserole, broccoli chicken casserole today, because we're adding chicken to, well, I'm going to put a little more of this onion too, y'all. Let's see. Very important not to let it get too dry, because it can dry out so easy. So you want to make sure to put enough milk. Okay. A little more onion in there. Okay. I'm going to do our soup here. And get to mixing it all up. I'll give me a mixing spoon. Let's see. There we go. Now this is cream of chicken. That gives it that little extra chicken flavor. And of course it gives it some salt too. So you don't want to put too much salt in everything. But I'm a seasoning kind of gal. So I'm going to get me a nice little stirring spoon out of here. And I'm going to do a cup of milk to start. And if that is not what I'm looking for as my consistency, I'll add a little bit more. Right there's the cup. And I think we're going to be good with that. But we'll have to see. Here's a cup of milk. You can also use cream if you want it to be a little bit heavier. I'm just using plain old milk today. Now I can see, yep, it's looking good. Got a good little consistency going there. It is so easy on the holidays. I have called Miss Rachel a million times because I always make like homemade mac and cheese, and I make broccoli casserole and stuff on the holidays. I've got my few little dishes I always fix, and a butternut cake. We'll do that with y'all sometime too. It's so good. But I told her, I said, what are you putting this thing? You know, it's easy to leave out the onion or leave a little something out or whatever, and you know, she'll say, be sure to put this in there or that in there. Let's see here. Now also, this is a point where you can also say, do I need a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that? You can look inside as you're stirring, and you can say, okay, that doesn't look like enough, doesn't look like enough broccoli, or doesn't look like enough this or that. But now that, to me, is looking like enough milk. But I have done that a many times and turned right around and said, oops, I need to do a little something different there. I need to add a little bit more. Because it just, the rice is going to eat it up in the oven. And this is a dish you cook about 30 minutes, something like that. It's just, you got to kind of watch it because you'll start seeing it brown around the sides, and you don't want it to dry out, don't want that rice to get too hard in there. Let's see here. I think we're right where we need to be. You can use fresh broccoli, or you can use frozen broccoli. I've got some frozen over here, and what I do is I take and hold it under hot water, get it unfrozen, and then add it into here. That looks pretty good to me right there. Now, let's don't forget our seasoning. That's what I was just going to do. I was just going to go off and season this stuff. Okay, put a little bit of pepper. I mentioned earlier, I'm a pepper kind of girl. A little garlic. Now, these are the things that, of course, you're obviously not going to over salt with because it's different seasoning here. You're talking about garlic, and you're not, you know, you're not dealing with salt, not as long as you're not using garlic salt. And right here is where you got to be careful. You can do too much salt, but this is the Creole seasoning. And this is kind of my magic seasoning that I use frying deer meat or lots of stuff. Instead of just the old plain salt and pepper, the Creole seasoning adds something to it. So right now, here is our undone broccoli casserole, and in a little bit, it will be bubbling and pretty and nice. I'm going to add it. You know what? I'm putting a lid on there too soon, y'all. You can cook it covered, but I cook it uncovered. And I go about, let's say, 30 minutes to start, or maybe 25. I'll go 30, because we got a good hot oven here. And we're going to put her in there, and we're going to be looking at about 30 minutes. And we ought to have some done stuff, and we'll try it in just a second. All right, everybody, we are close to finished with our chicken broccoli casserole. I'm going to get it out and show it to y'all, what it's supposed to look like. Ooh, lovely day. It's going to be so good. Here we go. Ooh, loudness. Again, going back to what Mom says, she says I'm the loudest person in the kitchen, and I am. I can't help it. I try to be quiet, and it just doesn't happen. But this is finished product, or close. You might want to get your cheese a little more melted. Now that, again, I always stick to saying it's whatever you want to do, because some people like a little chunkier cheese. Some people want it a little bit more melted. But that right there is a one meal deal that you do not have to be fooling with. You've seen what I've done. You can stir it in the same dish that you cook it in, and you are finished. I think what we'll do right now is take a little break, and then I'm going to come back and try it and tell y'all how it turned out. Alright, y'all, I am ready to take a little bite of this good stuff here. Got to get a little chicken, got to get a little broccoli too. Now, I could have cut this broccoli up. Right now, I'm kind of wishing I had cut it up a little bit, but let's see here. Don't want to burn myself, because this is right out of the oven here. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's because that I'm cooking country with America out here or what, but this is seriously, each episode so far, I felt like this is some of the best food. Or maybe I'm just hungry. I'm not sure. But the broccoli's super good. Talk about good. There has been times I've actually had frozen broccoli that I have put up in the freezer bags in the freezer out of our garden during the wintertime, last couple years, or year maybe, we haven't grown the broccoli. We've just been doing the turnips and collards and stuff. That's a whole nother ball game, and that'll be like more like wintertime and stuff. But talk about good. You can grow your own broccoli, and it is so good, like with ranch or whatever, just raw, or especially putting a casserole like this. But this today isn't my fresh broccoli out of the garden, but maybe by the end of this year we'll get us some more broccoli and have some. I'm going to go in for another little taste, I think. But I thank y'all for being with me today, and I have really enjoyed it, and I hope that y'all will cook this up for your family and enjoy it. And I'll see you next time on Cooking Country.